Salam, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how I make Mexican chicken soup. I love this recipe because it has a lot of vegetables. This is what I usually put in my chicken soup. You can do it with any parts of the chicken. I like drumstick, but chicken thighs is also a good option. I have a full chopped onion. I like to put corn, zucchini, carrots, chayote squash. This is a Mexican vegetable, and potato. I also put some celery and garlic, cilantro, oregano, salt and pepper, but very little black pepper, not too much. So let's start. I'm going to start with the onion. And I'm going to add around 3 tablespoons of oil. It could be vegetable oil. I usually put regular olive oil. Now we're going to add 1 full chopped onion. And we're going to mix. Once the onion is translucent, I will add then the tomato. And that will be the base of the soup. Meanwhile, I'm going to chop the celery. So the celery, you can cut it in big chunks. Doesn't have to be too small because either you can leave it and eat it, or you can take it out of the pot. So I'm just going to cut it in half, and this will be ready. Let's check the onion, and it's almost there. It's getting that translucent, clear color. Okay. So at this point, we're going to add tomato. Okay, so the tomato doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be the base of the soup. But the smaller you cut it, the faster it will disintegrate with the onion. Okay. This is the first one. The second one. And this is the third tomato. This soup usually takes me half an hour from start to finish. I'm already boiling water, so I'm just going to wait until the tomato is ready. So meanwhile, I'm going to peel the potatoes. Okay, so I'm going to do small squares. Well, actually, not very small, so you can see the size. Okay, and just before we put the water, when you are at this stage, you are going to add the garlic. I'm going to put 3. I usually like to use the garlic presser, so I don't have to get my hands smelly with the garlic. And I have to add the water before it's late. There you go. Meanwhile, I'm going to add the chicken. So I usually calculate 2 pieces to drumsticks per person. This will be good for 2 meals. I like to cook in big batches, so I don't have to cook every single meal, so I just cook 1 or 2 per day because we usually eat the 3 meals here at home. It's almost full cover, so that's great. I'm going to add on top the celery, and we are going to continue chopping the carrots. Now, you don't want the carrots to be too soft in the soup, so I usually cut half, then half. If they're too long, then I just do 1 more. Not too tiny because I don't want them to soften too much at the end. So meanwhile, I'm going to peel the chayote. This is a hard to peel. vegetables because it has some ridges. So I will just get in those with the knife. I'm going to peel it and then try to make it more even with the knife. Here in the US, you can find this vegetable in Walmart, usually carries it, or in any Mexican grocery store. And if you can't find it, don't worry. If you don't have any of these ingredients, you can just work with what you have. You can even add chickpeas or rice, white rice, or pasta, or spinach. So you can make it your own, and that's the good thing about this dish, that it's very versatile and it's so good. If you haven't tried this vegetable, it has like a pit that is really tasty once it's a very unique flavor. And I usually cut it same size than the potato. So this should be ready. So at this point, my chicken has been boiling for 18 minutes. I'm going to add the potatoes. And I'm going to add the chayote. We're going to start cutting the zucchini. And this is the vegetable where I do bigger chunks. So like that. Let me show you the size. Okay. Because it cooks pretty fast. So actually when the chicken is ready is when I add the zucchini, and it will just cook with the steam. So I'm going to put this on the side because this is the last step. Okay, so now it is minute 23 since the chicken started boiling. So now we're going to add the carrots. And we will also add the cilantro, and then I will try to take it off at the end. If I cannot reach it all in a hole, that's totally okay. When I'm serving, I usually separate it. If it goes on the plate, totally fine as well. So at this point, I will also add the corn. I just cut it in half. And a lot of people like to cook longer the corn, but I find out that it's not necessary, and I don't know how much of the nutrients are lost if you overcook it. So you can see now. If you notice, we haven't added any salt. At this point is when I add the salt and other spices. So I'm going to start with oregano. And this is, I know it looks like a lot, but we usually enjoy the amount. It's not, there is not like a specific measurement for this because it depends on your taste. Black pepper. It is a tiny, let me measure it for you. This is half of a teaspoon of black pepper, and I will say do not put more than this. And the reason why is because the black pepper could overpower and you won't be able to notice the other flavors, so you want to have balance. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple of chicken-based soup cubes. So I'm going to add a couple. Once I add those two, then I will try it and see if it's missing, how much salt is missing. And to make it faster, I usually try to cut them a little bit before adding them into the pot, so it will just dissolve on the soup faster. So now I'm going to try it and see what's missing. You can see the mix of colors in the soup, and the chicken, it's almost ready. I could add another half of chicken base soup cube, or I could add a little bit of salt. I haven't added any salt, and I don't think it will be necessary if I add just half of the cube, so I'm going to do that. You won't have a exact measurement for the cubes because it depends on the amount of water that you're putting in your soup and the amount of chicken. But more or less you can go by 2. In this case I have a little large pot, so I will do that 2.5. Okay, the chicken is ready. I'm going to add the zucchini, that as I say is the last step. And I will turn it off, cover it for 5 minutes with no flame, and it's ready to serve. So to serve, I put a couple of drumsticks. As I mentioned before, you can leave the celery or you can take it off, up to you. I'm going to leave it and then put some of the vegetables, and this is your final soup. You could add rice in the soup, or you can have it on the side, or you could also add pasta. I hope that this gives you an idea in how to make the traditional Mexican soup. I hope that you enjoy it and also that you make it your own. Salam and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video.